Hi, I wanted to dedicate this video to the 2016 election results and what I think would happen. Well, actually, I named the video "Is Obama the Last U.S. President?" I think that's kind of catchy, and search engines will pick it up. Hopefully, I'll get more hits. I have a lot of videos on philosophy and spirituality. I would like people to visit them too. I'm not really a psychic by profession and not a witch doctor, but I'm doubling down. But I'm doubling in that capacity until I get my YouTube channel going. I think that the political entity that we call the United States government will not survive the calamities that awaits it in the coming few months. And Obama will, in one form or another, cancel the election results or will cancel the election altogether. But let's just think hypothetically what will happen if the current president cancelled the election. Well, there is Trump and Hillary and then Sanders, but Trump represents the old capitalism, the old guard, and they will be very pissed, and there might be civil unrest in the United States. And Hillary, in my opinion, represents zombie capitalism and banks and the politicians that support each other. The banks and the politicians, or the establishment as is, which is not really capitalism. It is a form of zombie capitalism, and it's not exactly fascism, but it does have some things in common with the old form of capitalism Trump represents. Well, I would model capitalism, the old one and the new one, as of a young serial murderer and an older version of that same young serial murderer. They both suck. I never like this system. I think that the society has outgrown them. But if there isn't a second 9/11, which is very possible because the United States has gotten into a war in Syria on the behest of the Israelis and the Saudis, and they are losing, and I think that they are very frustrated with all the money that is spent and all the lives that are lost, and United States just bailed out. So I think they will turn their wrath on the U.S. government, and we will have a 9/11, which will create a very massive reaction. But this is a speculation. Either form, if it is an economic collapse or another 9/11, the elections is going to be cancelled. But I think that these calamities will not really befall on the lower classes, the lower middle class, or you know, the poor. Well, if there ever was a nuclear war, the main survivors will be rats and cockroaches. They might even thrive. Well, a lot of companies can be modeled as a rat or a cockroach because they're very resilient. The stuff they make, people have to buy. For example, I bought some cans of beans today, and I just wondered in the back of my mind if there is a tremendous calamity in the United States or in the world. Would the farmers that make this product, which is really old product, would they stop making it, or would they stop shipping it? Would we stop printing some form of currency and paying them with it? Would they stop accepting this crappy currency? I don't think any of those questions have a yes answer. Most of them will be no. They will continue supplying these products, and there is a tremendous amount of cheap labor in the world, and the automation and other currents that are going on economically will continue producing these um, old-fashioned products like food stuff, or a clothing item, or somebody will make them. And even if the economy of the world collapses significantly, um, many producers would still want to get paid something for them. And United States has been an expert in printing currency, and they'll probably print another kind of dollar, like a republic dollar or something, and pay those guys with that, and say, "Oh, we just owe you these." I don't think that there will be a tremendous change economically or politically for lower class of people, uh, but I think this time the rich are going to get really hit, and also the zombie capitalists like big banks, politicians, they'll be hit, and the changes will be irreversible, because they have done a lot of very bad things, a lot of wars and a lot of debt, and a lot of enemies outside. But the class of the Americans that are wealthy, and if they lose their savings, or their retirements, or their entitlements that they've been getting, or subsidies from government, like the corporations, they get it, or if the stock market totally collapses, they'll be very much hurt. And I think they know this in the back of their mind, and there will be some forms of violence against government. Uh, but I'm also not on the mindset that things will go on as usual. I don't think things will continue as usual. I think that there is a lot of derivatives in the books of foreign banks, and one of them, like Deutsche Bank, or some other Italian bank, or so on, will collapse and drag the rest of these guys with them, and then we'll have a full-blown economic collapse. But it will not filter down to the low income people. Uh, it will be mostly the wealthy. They'll commit suicide, or they kill each other off, or I think that when something is obnoxious and is fraudulent and has been going on for so long, if it falls apart, it might be something positive. It might be itself a kind of a new beginning. To go back to basics, and have different kinds of politicians that cater to these groups of people. So I think I'm conjecturing that after these troubles really hit the fan, the United States might revert to a form of government that's like a Brazil, like a junta, with like 3-4 generals, and 3 or 4 former presidents, like a committee running the whole show until they have new elections. Uh, Certainly, I don't think the U.S. military or the government will allow foreign corporations to just come in, and instead of their debt or treasuries, just grab anything that of value, like land or mines, or I think there will be a great deal of resistance to that, and basically we will be chaperoned into a organized organized bankruptcy for the whole government. And same thing in foreign countries. Uh, these There are some foreign governments that are very tied to U.S. dollar, like the Saudis and the Gulf states, Israel, and certainly a few European countries, and they'll be hit very hard too. Uh, but I think these developments would be a positive thing, because this system has come to its conclusion. It's just too wasteful, creates too many wars, too many super rich. If it falls apart, we shouldn't think that's the end of the world. Capitalism itself is a very troublesome system, and it's has been assailed from many different corners. I think that we are walking towards the zero marginal cost society. That means that there's so many technologies that produce anything from food and fuel to clothes to whatever that you might need, very cheaply, that uh, this old model of capitalist system is not really functioning anymore. Plus, there is a lot of production that's non-market production, which means just like this, you're seeing content, but this content wasn't made by a company. It certainly wasn't made to make money. It's just my philosophical ideas and conjectures, and hey, you're watching it. It is a product. But there is nothing the capitalist system can do with this, or basically Google takes this content and makes it available, and anybody can watch it. I mean, in the future, after my number of my videos hit like 200 or 500, I might put a page for donations. Big deal. That's not capitalism, really. That's I don't know. I would call that non-market production, and the other part of the economy, freenomics, products and services that are freely made and given away, like email, or you don't know what's coming down, software. Well, there is yet another part of the economy, which is like the gift economy, and non-profit organizations like charities. If you add all this up, would that be a huge portion of our economy? Let's not forget what the largesse of the U.S. government gives all this money and amenities to many kinds of people, like students, or gives social security. That's not really a capitalist system of producing stuff and selling it and using the profit to reinvest and all. It's just completely we have outgrown that system. So if it's falling apart, we shouldn't really sit down and have a eulogy, because we don't live like that anymore. But these ideas have been going on for so long that people have hard times outgrowing them. I think that there will be a second 9/11, and the Saudis will attack the U.S. government and cause calamity. This has happened before, the first one. So why shouldn't I think that there will be a second one? And these two trends I know there is other negative trends that are going on. Will intersect at some point very soon, and will force the course of events. Um, Usually, like empires, they die quietly. For example, when the Soviet Union died, the Russians, they elected Yeltsin and made treaties with the Baltic states and other states. Basically they let them go. They are in a commonwealth, but really Russia doesn't govern or control Poland or Azerbaijan or many states. After all these calamities, uh, basically the United States' influence and role in the world will expire. I don't know what will they do with their troops and military that's all over the place. But I would save money. But we never know what will happen. Sometimes there is a last gasp, and there is more violence, more bloodshed. Uh, there are psychic predictions that Obama is the last president, and I personally have had some experiences, psychic experiences, but they are very controversial, and I don't want to stick my neck out. But my guess or uh, my thinking is that this will be like a mafia war, and many politicians will get assassinated by each other, like the Saudis doing it to Americans, and the Americans going doing it to Saudis, and the Israelis doing it to the Palestinians, and Palestinians getting help from Turkey and Russia, and going back to undo the Israelis. So it's like a mafia war, and they knock each other out. Uh, but underlying all of that, I think that the politics reflects economic processes with a lag time, and the because we are going towards the zero marginal cost society, all these politics that we have and was built in the past, in the 70s and 60s and 50s, it just doesn't function anymore, and it's falling apart, just like the economic system is falling apart. Uh, so what is there to sit and cry about? I mean, I would just sit and watch what goes on. More than anything else, I don't think anything will happen to like social security benefits or um, you know low income wages that people like me have, or um, any of this stuff. They're just like those rats and cockroaches. It's just too well built, and the government will come up with something to pay these people off, and keep them quiet, because we don't want all these rebellions. But the rich and their guns and the zombie capitalists, uh, there might be some serious confrontations. Also, I think that the United States has a great talent for fascism, and if things might get very violent, and they might just bring Trump on, or Hillary. They both have fascist tendencies, and when a lot of people think the same way, or have certain tendencies for starting wars, or settling things very obnoxiously, then the politicians would reflect that. Uh, in other countries like France, fascists or ultra right wing politicians are coming into power, and they're always confronted with socialists. So there might be a period where we alternate between communists and fascists and or ultra conservatives and socialists, you know. And also the other trend that I see is that the United States has talent for states just separating from the union, like Texas, because they might just say, "Hey, this place has a lot of troubles, and they owe a lot of money, and we have a better economy, and we could do better without them." Same goes with California or the New England or Utah. They have different cultures and religion too. So if things become chaotic, there might be a political breakaway like that. Um, uh, there's other countries like Turkey and Saudi Arabia, because they have gone into war and they have created civil unrest. They are going to see the consequences of these actions, and I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia is going to fall apart. I don't know about Turkey. Turkish people are very nationalistic, but I think they got a lot of trouble coming on. Um, these countries like Russia and small European states would benefit from all of this because they did everything to stay out of the trouble. Germany will benefit, Iran, countries like India or China or countries that were nobodies before, like Iraq or some places like Brazil or South Africa. They'll benefit because they lose the foreign adversaries. I don't know, that's just a conjecture right now. Anyhow, thank you for very much for being in my video channel. Please feel free to leave your comment, or you can email me too. Thank you.